All right. Hi, everyone. We're going to play Deckahedron World. I like the pun, by the way. It's cute. This is going to be really fun, because I told you it is. I'm glad that you could join me for this. I'm reading directly from a script that was designed to get us started fast by going over just enough of the rules for our first session, so please pay attention now so we can get to the fun of the game quickly. Let's
All right, I'm in.
Stop
Let's do this.
messing around. Deckahedron World is a narrative game. It's a storytelling game where we all collaborate and tell the story together. I'm going to be the GM, it's short for Game Master, so I'm going to be responsible for the events in the world, and the side characters, they're called NPCs, or non-player characters. Responsible for the world and the side characters. Each one of you is going to play a role, kind of like an actor does. You're going to control one character. You get to tell us everything they think and everything they say and everything that they do. Imagine we're making an awesome adventure movie with swords and magic and stuff. You're the actors just moving things up as you go, just making things up as you go, and I'm a combination of screenwriter and director, trying to fill the story with excitement and drama, and also deciding how the scenes go together and where the camera cuts to next. But does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we're the actors. I'm the screenwriter / director, and we're making up our lines, and he's jotting it into the script. All right. But let me pause for a minute and get specific about what I mean by you decide everything your character does. You can't just say, my character Tyrion runs up to the bad guy and punches him in the head, and his head goes flying off. You can say, my character runs up to the bad guy and tries to punch his head hard enough to send it flying off. See the difference? When you describe an action where there's some uncertainty like that, it's my job as the GM to say you've triggered a move. The rules will resolve the uncertainty and tell us if the bad guy's head actually goes flying off. When a move is triggered, it's time to use the cards and dice to see what happens next. Triggering moves is a lot of fun. It's fun to succeed, and it's also fun to fail. Because even in failure, new exciting stuff starts happening. When you trigger moves, you impact the narrative, consequences happen, and we're all going to get surprises when the cards flip and the dice roll. The game isn't all triggering moves, though. Most of this game is talking. That's why Say Stuff is written so boldly on the character sheets. I'm going to be asking you questions. You'll probably have lots of questions from me, and we're going to put everything together to make an epic story. It's going to have adventures, battles, chases, discoveries, and magic. It's a fantastic story, so think dangerously and take risks. Be true to your character's personality. Remember, it's sort of like acting. Your character will start out as a scrappy adventurer and rise in power to become a hero, or a villain, or maybe they'll just die in the attempt, or maybe they'll be resurrected after that. Every session will be about 3 hours. We might spend a long time bouncing ideas off one another and dealing with consequences each consequence in an improvisational way, or we might engage in a long battle with lots of dice rolling and card flipping. There's no predetermined story. We're all in this together, and we're going to play to find out what happens. This first session will need about 40 minutes of preparation. 40 minutes of preparation, though. 10 minutes has already gone by with this speech. It's almost over, I promise. Next, we're going to play Sarukhan's Chamber, a pre-made adventure for you to get the hang of the rules. I'll set a timer for 10 minutes, and then end Sarukhan's Chamber when it goes off. Then we'll take 10 minutes to create a touch-tone list for our game, and for the main game. And then we'll do 10 minutes of character creation. And then the adventure begins. Let's start.
All right, cool.
Sweet.
All right, so Jeff, what did you retain about what this game is going to be?
So it's a story-based game, and we will. The mechanic is I can't just say I'm going to punch someone. I'm going to attempt to punch someone, and somehow the GM facilitates that, and we're attempting to be actors in the game, or we're trying to make believe or improv these characters into reality, and so there's also taking risks. Was there at the end? That we're gonna do a.
What about risks?
It's a game about adventure, so take risks, or I guess have fun with it, I guess was the last
Sure.
idea. And then there was something about a thing coming up for 10 minutes, and then there's character creation after that.
Yeah. Quinn, what about you read it? So, but what did you retain?
So it's kind of going over the philosophy of RPGs to some degree. It's trying to like imbue somebody with the sense of like what it's gonna feel like, and because when you're trying to when you're only used to board games, like it's hard to imagine like you're gonna be asked to say stuff and you're not gonna have any reason to say anything in particular, and you're just gonna have to like. I understand like that you're trying to be like you're gonna have to just try things and it'll work out, you know. So I get that that's part of the. I think that that example was the strongest part of it, and it was the first thing you mentioned. So maybe expand on that even, or two examples or something, because like that really, I think that really resonates. You're like, oh, okay, I can imagine doing that, and maybe a second example, or just punch up that section to really make it the focus, because I think that's where it really comes home.
I noticed, if I may, there's after you describe that scenario of like trying to, there's some technical words in there, seemingly technical words that kind of caught me off guard.
Triggered, a move is triggered or whatever.
Yeah. And then resolving some sort of, was it probability or it was
trigger move. Was there another?
It just basically said after that, and then we're going to use cards and dice to find out what happens.
But
there wasn't a
term. That is nice and straightforward language. The words here was a little bit more
trigger.
Not trigger, but it was.
So the triggered was the original thing. You're right. There was a resolving. Or the rules will resolve the uncertainty. Oh yeah, that's about uncertainty.
That's resolve the uncertainty.
So
I feel like that's a little awkward.
The example is great. The uncertainty thing is not how I would phrase it.
It might make sense once you learn the rule or the terminology in the game, but right now it seemed like resolve the uncertainty. I
was trying to just use natural language there. There's nothing technical.
Really. No, it's just more abstract than it needs to be. I'd say that like.
It might not be technical.
It's very kind of like 12th grade language.
It's not like the words are confusing, but the combination in that order.
Okay.
Right.
Is like.
It's
Yeah. I'll think of something. I'll think of that.
I would keep it really concrete. So like the word try versus do is really good here. Like. You're going to try to do things. You're not going to do things. You're going to try to do things, and I'm going to tell you if you do them. So you tell me what you want to try to do, and I will tell you if you succeed. Like, that's really straightforward.
Yeah.
It implies uncertainty, but the uncertainty is the sort of abstract principle rather than just the do this, then this. The other piece is the analogy about actor, director, screenwriter. I would say that you're an actor. Screenwriter is the wrong word, because an actor can't improv things if they're just for a screenwriter. The GM's the director and the editor. The narrator maybe, but not screenwriter, because screenwriter writes lines and then actors repeat them. You're gonna say all your own lines, but the director and the narrator fill in the gaps and like channel the story, I guess. And editor kind of has a role, but maybe that's too specific.
So maybe use narrator might be better.
Yeah, director's good too. Like, and people know what director means. But I wouldn't say a screenwriter feels confusing.
Yeah. Thank you. Cool. I mean, you guys got it. That's great.
I'm a little vague on. Is there a baseline narrative? Like a...
No, this is all... It's all improv.
Okay. So it's not like... There aren't like